Hi YouTube, my name is Mactics and welcome to my introduction to Grandmaster Nightfalls in Season 15. This guide will tell you absolutely everything that you need to know before you walk into your very first Grandmaster Nightfall this season. First though, before we get started, I do want to mention I stream carries of Grandmaster Nightfalls all the time on my stream over at twitch.tv/Mactics, so please come on by if you have any additional questions after watching this video, want to come run a Grandmaster Nightfall with me, or just want to come hang out and say hi. First things first, what is a Grandmaster Nightfall? A Grandmaster Nightfall, or GM, is a typical strike that has a whole slew of different enemy types, modifiers, and rules that make it more challenging than your usual strike. The first of these rules is the light level entry barrier. Grandmaster Nightfalls require a pretty high power level to enter. In seasons past, you have had to be at the bare minimum 15 light levels above the current pinnacle gear cap of that season, and the same holds true now. So, in Season 15, where the base pinnacle cap is 1330, you need to be 15 higher than that, so 1345 in total. Keep in mind though that this power level can be achieved by any combination of base gear and artifact power bonus. So for example, a base gear power level of 1329 with a bonus artifact power of plus 16 would total 1345 and therefore allow you to get in. Speaking of power level, let's talk about the most impactful modifier in GMs, contest. The contest modifier, which is universal in all GMs, locks you at a particular power level, meaning any additional power you have effectively gets chopped off when you walk in the door. The contest modifier in GMs always locks you at whatever power level is required to enter that GM. So in Season 15, since you need to be at least 1345 to enter GMs, the contest modifier will lock you to 1345 while playing them, meaning any power above 1345 will not benefit you in any way. Please note though that the individual power level of your weapons can make a large impact, so please make sure that they are all 1330 if at all possible. Moving on, all Grandmasters have a set of default modifiers that come along with contests, such as Champions Mob, which includes extra champions, Joining in Progress Disabled, yeah, even if you get error coded, Locked Loadouts, so no weapon switching or subclass tweaks once you enter, Match Game, where enemy shields are highly resistant to all unmatched elemental damage, and extra shields, which is self-explanatory. Additionally, each Grandmaster Nightfall will have its own personalized modifier that is specific to that strike. The final modifiers that we need to talk about are the champion modifiers. So, what are champions? Champions are enemies in Destiny 2 that have specific stun or interrupt mechanics that must be used to be able to defeat them effectively. There are three types of champions in Destiny: barriers, overloads, and unstoppables. Barrier champions activate a shield once damaged below a certain health threshold, typically about 80%. This shield must be shot at with an anti-barrier weapon to be broken. Breaking the shield will temporarily stun the champion. If the shield is not shot at all, the champion will begin to regenerate health while the shield is up. Overload champions are usually aggressive and like to charge you, with the exception of Overload Hobgoblins. Overload champions have damage resistance and constantly regenerate health when they are either unstunned or not being hit with Overload rounds. To stun Overload champions, you must fire a few shots with an Overload weapon to ready an Overload round. The amount of shots that you have to fire is dependent on the weapon. Higher magazine weapons like SMGs and auto rifles typically require more bullets to ready an overload round, whereas weapons like bows have an overload round ready on every single shot. Hitting the champion with the overload round will stun them for a few seconds. After they become unstunned, there will be a brief period of time where they are unstunnable as indicated by their white antlers, but will continue to regenerate health if they are not shot with overload rounds. You must continue shooting them with overload rounds during this time until they are ready to be stunned again. Finally, we have unstoppable champions. Unstoppable champions relentlessly rush you unless stunned. They also have significant damage resistance while unstunned. To stun an unstoppable champion, you must aim down sights with an unstoppable weapon for a brief moment to ready an unstoppable round. Hitting an unstoppable champion with an unstoppable round will stun them for a brief moment. After they recover, there will be a brief moment where they cannot be restunned, as indicated by their white antlers. You'll be able to see what types of champions are in each Grandmaster Nightfall by looking at its modifiers. Most Grandmaster Nightfalls only have two types of champions, with very few having all three. So we're talking about stunning champions with overload and barrier and unstoppable weapons, but what the hell are those? Each season, there is a suite of seasonal mods in the artifact. Part of these seasonal mods are the champion weapon mods for that particular season. Sometimes there are also ability-based mods for stunning champions. The weapon mods are the bread and butter though, and all weapon champion mods slot into your gauntlets. In Season 15, we have auto rifles for anti-barrier, bows and swords for overload, and fusion rifles, pulse rifles, and sidearms for unstoppables. There are also some exotics that have built-in champion stun mods as well, such as Ariana's Vow with anti-barrier, Divinity with overload, Bastion with unstoppable, and a few more. Finally, we move on to revives. In Grandmaster Nightfalls, if you get killed, you are dead until a teammate picks you up. However, you only have a limited amount of revives. You start each Grandmaster Nightfall with a certain amount, and spend 1 token every time you revive a teammate. Thankfully though, killing a champion will award you with 1 additional revive token. These revive tokens are shared by the entire team, and you can have a maximum of 20, with all of them getting completely wiped away once you pass the 45-minute mark in the strike. If all 3 players are dead at the same time at any particular moment, your team gets thrown back to orbit and you need to start over as per the extinguish modifier. So, that's all the basics, but how do you start your first Grandmaster Nightfall? Step 1 is to find a team. There is no matchmaking in Grandmaster Nightfall, so you have to find your own teammates before you walk in. My personal recommendation would be my Discord server linked in the description below. We have an LFG channel in there full of awesome guardians that are always happy to help and always enjoy to play with. Step 2 is to get your loadout ready. Slap on your weapons and pair in champion mods once you know what champions you'll be dealing with. And make sure you have all of your elements covered to crack all of the shields. If you ever need a good loadout recommendation, simply ask in the Discord server or check out my guide videos for each Grandmaster Nightfall on my YouTube channel. Step 3 is to try. Grandmasters are really tough, and you might wipe a few times before you beat one. Just try to keep your head up and learn a little bit as you go, and eventually you'll get there. Finally, if you have any other questions, or maybe you want to come run a Grandmaster Nightfall with me, please feel more than welcome to check out my live stream at twitch.tv/Mactics and say hi in the chat. I'm usually live weekdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, and I would absolutely love to meet you there. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing if this video helped you in any way, and as always, have a great day. Hey, normally this is for my outro plays, but I wanted to take this opportunity to tell you about a special project that I have planned that I could really use your help on. I love helping people, and that's why I make these guides. And my favorite part of these guides is when people say in the comments section or at me on Twitter or come to my stream and tell me about how my guide helped and how they just beat a Grandmaster Nightfall that they were struggling with a lot, or how they just got their Conqueror. If you could, please take a clip from a Grandmaster Nightfall run of yours where perhaps you guys just beat it or you had a really clutch moment, or maybe just you and your fire team emoting in the tower or a different location while you have your brand new Conqueror seals on. And head to the Google form linked down in the description where you can then upload that clip that you took to my Google Drive. I want to compile all of these clips together and put out a large compilation showing all of the Guardians that got Conqueror and all the clutch moments during their Grandmaster Nightfall runs at the very end of the Grandmaster season. Thank you so much in advance for helping me make this fun little project really, really awesome. Good luck in your Grandmasters, and I hope to see you around.